Welcome. In this portion of the journey, we will be discussing the fourth dimension. I like taking information, example, knowledge of an infinite person known as God, and express or share what intel I have at a very basic, fundamental level. The purpose of this part of the journey is now that we know about God's existence, what about God's environment, or the spirit realm, or heaven, or hell? Is there any evidence of a community or a society, a place of existence not tangibly observable through common scientific methods? Yes, Albert Einstein was very close to this revelation. Scientists, true scientists, do not deny God, but deny a personal relationship simply because they cannot put God under a microscope and study him. All we need is proof. The bloody glove, the bullet to the gun. Evidence. Not simply to satisfy skepticism, but to utilize truth absolute in seeking God. Using this confirmation in our reality as a stepping stone into the manifestation of our Lord God. I believe a tesseract is a good place to start. But let me remind you again, all we are doing is looking at any evidence of the existence of the fourth dimension. What you see before you are dimensions that we understand in this reality. We dwell in a three-dimensional plane made up of space, time, and matter. A three-dimensional cube in the fourth dimension is known as a tesseract. Now we're going to switch speeds. Now I pray that you stay with me. Listen carefully and stay with me. A tesseract is known to exist by the dimensions that are not observable through common scientific methods, space and time, or space-time. A tesseract, being a fourth dimensional component, cannot even be fully visualized in one's imagination, yet its operation can be understood by a creature dwelling in the third dimension, us human beings. Now this is a irrefutable evidence, a proof, and we've already discussed a better proof, the consciousness. This is why we can know the operations of a tesseract, but it is blocked from our minds visually. To explain further, again, stay with me and listen carefully. The consciousness not being bound by space, time, and matter obviously means it's not bound by space, time. Do you understand? This makes our consciousness outside of the third. That means higher than the third. And being not bound by space-time means even higher still than even the fourth. Yet, this is what irrefutably confirms higher realms. But if we're talking about a consciousness dwelling in higher realms, what does this also confirm? A community. We can logically deduce that there is a community in the higher dimension, simply because your origin of consciousness is much higher than the third and even the fourth. Again, the consciousness does not require a tangible body to exist, but a body to express in the third. All this means is any conscious being, any conscious being outside the body can easily and even naturally dwell in the fourth. Anything created can be observed with corresponding dimensions. Let me give you an example. We live currently in the third dimension, utilizing a two-dimensional perspective to observe our reality. The eyeball is a three-dimensional tool with two-dimensional observing capabilities. The eye of the consciousness does not utilize a three-dimensional tool, but a higher dimensional tool, or eye. Being a fourth dimensional tool means its perspective is obviously above the second, or 2D perspective. A fourth dimensional tool can easily use a three-dimensional perspective. What I am saying is a tesseract is not expressing a 3D operation, but a fourth dimensional operation, which is why you cannot see it nor imagine its visual operations. But the consciousness, still originating from a higher realm, has the capacity to understand by true knowledge. I pray you are getting this. But as knowledge and truth increases, so will the capacity to understand higher realms and give light to see. This is the fourth step on this journey, an introduction to the fourth dimension.